Hi everyone, I am Annika Duff3 and welcome to World Deconstructed, where we will break down complex international topics for busy teenagers like you. In this episode, we will be looking at wildfires. So, what are wildfires? According to the National Geographic, wildfires are uncontrollable fires that burn in wildland vegetation, often in rural areas. However, they are not limited to certain ecosystems or continents and have been occurring for millions of years. Wildfires tend to start in one of two ways: a natural occurrence or a human-made spark. But human-made sparks have become much more common, with the National Park Service stating that 85% of wildfires are caused by humans. After all, what is fire to a pyrotechnic? Just a warm-up. Either way, the more important factors in determining if a spark, natural or human-made, will grow are the weather conditions and the topography of the region. The windier, the hotter, and the drier the weather is, the more likely it is for the fire to grow and for it to grow faster, as they all leave vegetation dried out and create prime fuel for a fire. Additionally, if the fire was started in a location where it can grow uphill, it will grow much faster than if it would grow downhill. But are wildfires bad? Wildfires are not necessarily bad, and actually are essential in many natural processes. For example, some pine trees need the heat of wildfires to open their cones and release their seeds. Other shrubs need heat for the seeds of the plant to begin to sprout and grow. Did you know that wildfires are like nature's version of a fireworks show? It's all nature's way of spreading the tree's offspring and keeping the forest party going with a bang. Additionally, wildfires often kill insects and diseases that harm trees and other plants. Smaller, cooler fires will also clear out the underbrush, which allow new grasses and plants to grow, and give food and habitats for numerous animals, while not being big or hot enough to damage trees. By clearing the underbrush, smaller fires also remove much of the fuel that tends to allow for larger, hotter fires, while also adding more nutrients to the soil and creating more space for sunlight to reach the plants at the forest floor and for large trees to continue to grow. Wildfires can also eradicate invasive species. While native species would have adapted to the wildfire cycles, invasive species would not have adapted yet, allowing wildfires to control, if not eradicate, their population. Well, I'm stoked, but this raises a burning question, so let's fire away. Can wildfires cause harm? While small wildfires are helpful, wildfires in general can cause significant damage to human health and property. When burning, wildfires release enough smoke to decrease the air quality, with the fine particles of smoke able to be lodged into the lungs and to put stress on the cardiovascular system. This was very clearly seen this past month when the Canadian wildfires caused extremely poor air quality across not only Canada but also the Midwest and Northeast regions of the United States. Beyond just particulate matter and smoke, fires also released carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, which further worsens climate change and which we will get more into later. Moving past air quality, wildfires cause more sediment and debris to enter streams, decreasing the water quality. And the most obvious damage wildfire cause is to humans and their property. If wildfires were contestants on a cooking show, they'd be masters of the flambé. They can turn up the heat, sear the landscape, and serve a feast for destruction. Let's just hope they don't overcook everything. And this is why on this show, only I do the jokes. Do you know what happens when wildfire tells you a joke? You get burned! So why are wildfires becoming worse? While wildfires are essential and do much good for ecosystems, climate change and historical fire management policies have led to more powerful and frequent wildfires, which increases the harm they have on humans and the environment, without increasing, and in some cases even decreasing, the benefits. For example, there was a fire at a yodeling school. Everyone was asked to exit the building in an orderly fashion. But on a more serious note, The UN Environment Program said in a report that the risk of a catastrophic wildfire will have increased by 33% by 2050 and 50% by the end of the century. Areas where major fires previously were non-existent, such as the Arctic, may now face increased risks. Other regions, such as the Amazon and Indonesia's rainforest, will also be more prone to larger fires, according to the report. Another example, the 2018 Camp Fire burned down most of Paradise, a city in California in the U.S., which led to the deaths of 86 people and over $10 billion in property damages. Poorer communities are also harder hit by wildfires, which impact their water quality, crop harvest, and the available land they have to grow food. Climate change is one of the major reasons wildfires have worsened. Has made forests hotter and drier, two factors that drastically increase a fire's ability to grow and increase the intensity at which it can grow. This has led fires to burn over larger areas and at hotter temperatures. The increased risk of extreme wildfires due to climate change has also created a feedback loop that continues to further hurt the environment. By creating more and larger fires, climate change has also led to the emitting of all the CO2 from those wildfires, which further exacerbates climate change and worsens the next fire season, creating a never-ending loop. Human intervention has also increased the intensity and the frequency of wildfires. Historic practices of putting out all wildfires have led to an excessive buildup of shrubbery and debris, which can lead to more fodder to start and grow wildfires, especially when combined with the effects of climate change. Additionally, logging and disease have damaged forests over time, which also make them more susceptible to starting fires, with logging often leaving behind debris that can easily start a fire. Additionally, deforestation can also lead to fires, with the Amazon Environmental Research Institute stating that it played a big role in Brazil's intense fire season in 2019. So, what can we do? There are several policies that need to be implemented to decrease the chances of intense fires. A major part of reducing this risk is putting the effort into fire prevention instead of suppression. In 2017, the U.S. Forest Service realized they were playing a never-ending game of whack-a-fire. They decided to invest more in preventing fires so they can finally retire those firefighting hammers. In 2017, the U.S. Forest Service spent 55% of its budget on suppressing fires, which takes away funds from preventing fires in the first place. In response, lawmakers passed a fire fix, or a fire funding fix, in which they create a separate fund specific purely for wildfire prevention, ensuring that when the Forest Service has to put out fires, they're not taking money away from preventing them either. One major prevention technique is prescribed burning. This involves purposefully setting low-level fires somewhat regularly in order to clear out the underbrush and other potential fuel that can start a larger fire. There is currently a lack of legislation in the U.S. that prioritizes prescribed burning, but it is increasing in popularity. The technique has been used in Florida consistently, helping reduce the impact of wildfires, and is being more prioritized by California recently as well. Additionally, historically, many indigenous people used controlled burning in order to prevent the buildup of flammable material in forests. The Nature Conservatory, a global environmental organization, also recommends ecological thinning in combination with prescribed burning. Involved reducing the density of trees in forests, ecological thinning helps limit the amount of flammable material and helps decrease the intensity of fires as well. Another important set of policies focuses on combating climate change, as it is a major cause for the increase of wildfires globally. By transitioning away from fossil fuels and other heavy carbon-emitting technologies to a more low or zero carbon-emitting tech instead, we can try to mitigate the speed that climate change is increasing and in turn reduce the risk of more intense fires. Combating climate change is like telling Mother Nature, we need to cool it down a bit. By transitioning to low or zero carbon emitting technologies, we're putting out the fire of climate change one step at a time. Additionally, stricter land management can also help prevent fires in the long run. Over half of fires are human started, so by creating strict regulations regarding where human allowed to start fires, it can help reduce the number of fires started in the first place. This also involves protecting forests from logging and deforestation, as they are also causes of many wildfires. Beyond all these policies, though, more research is needed. Collecting and analyzing data from wildfires and researching other policies will help governments understand what gaps there are currently in their policies and come up with solutions to fill the gaps. A great example of this is in Brazil, where they used technology in 2022 to analyze deforestation and determine how the government could involve their fire management and prevention policies into that data and improve them. While preventing fires is an extremely important part of fire policy, the other side is ensuring communities and homes are as safe as possible and prepared for wildfires as well. This involves educating the public about the danger of wildfires and encouraging and introducing architectural improvements to help homes better survive wildfires should that situation occur. Additionally, by doing data analysis, governments should try to understand which areas are most fire-prone and pass policies that reduce the chance of risky behaviors in those regions and also prevent settlements in extremely risky fire-prone areas. Wildfires are like the ultimate rock stars of the natural world. They show up unannounced, set the stage on fire, and leave a trail of burning trees and cheering flames in their wake. Talk about a fiery fan base. And that is our deep dive into wildfires. If you want to learn more about this topic, check out these links further exploring the topic, all in the description below. And if you want to get involved and make your voice heard, call or email your congressperson and senators. Don't know who they are? Check out the resources in the description down below to find out and contact them easily. Have you read an article you don't understand or a headline you want more details on? Tell us in the comments down below and we will deconstruct it for you. Do you have any recommendations on how we can improve this show for you? Please tell us in the comments down below. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends as well. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you know when our next episode drops. See you next time.